भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 9, Verse 18. Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat.
एष वै भगवान् साक्षात्
Adyo Narayana Puman.
अद्यो नारायण पुमान्
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam.
मोहयन् मायया लोकम्
Gudashcharati Vrishnishu.
गूढाश्चरति वृष्णिषु
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat.
एष वै भगवान् साक्षात्
Adyo Narayana Puman.
अद्यो नारायण पुमान्
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam.
मोहयन् मायया लोकम्
Gudashcharati Vrishnishu.
गूढश्चरति वृष्णिषु
Esha vai Bhagavan Sakshat.
एष वै भगवान् साक्षात्
Adyo Narayana Puman.
अद्यो नारायण पुमान्
Mohayan Mayaya Lokam.
मोहयन् मायया लोकम्
Gudashcharati Vrishnishu.
गूढश्चरति वृष्णिषु.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Synonyms. Esha, this.
Esha, this.
Why? Positively.
Why positively?
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Sakshat, original.
Sakshat, original.
Adya, the first.
Adya, the first.
Narayana, the supreme Lord who lies down on the water.
Narayana, the supreme Lord who lies down on the water.
Puman, the supreme enjoyer.
Puman, the supreme enjoyer.
Mohayan, bewildering.
Mohayan, bewildering.
Mayaya, by his self-created energy.
Maya, by his self-created energy.
Lokam, the planets.
Lokam, the planets.
Gudha, who is inconceivable.
Gudha, who is inconceivable.
Charati, moves.
Charati, moves.
Vrishnishu, among the Vrishni family.
Vrishnishu, among the Vrishni family.
Translation, please repeat after me. This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead.
This Sri
This
Krishna
Sri
is no
Krishna
other
is
than the
no other than
inconceivable
the
original personality of Godhead.
inconceivable original personality of Godhead.
He is the first Narayana,
He
He
is
is the
the
first
first
Narayana,
Narayana,
the supreme enjoyer.
the supreme
the supreme
enjoyer,
enjoyer.
But he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni,
but
But
he
he
is
is
moving
moving
amongst
amongst
the
the descendants
descendants
of
of
King
King
Vrishni,
Rishni,
just like one of us,
just
just
like
like
one
one
of
of
us.
Just like
us.
one of us.
and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy.
And
And
he
he
And
is
is
he is
bewildering
bewildering
us
bewildering
with
us
us
his
with
with
his
his
self-created
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 energy.
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 Purport.
Purport. The Vedic system of acquiring knowledge is the deductive process. The Vedic knowledge is received perfectly by disciplic succession from authorities. Such knowledge is never dogmatic, as ill-conceived by less intelligent persons. The mother is the authority to verify the identity of the father. She is the authority for such confidential knowledge. Therefore, authority is not dogmatic. In the Bhagavad Gita, this truth is confirmed in the second verse of the fourth chapter, and the perfect system of learning is to receive it from authority. The very same system is accepted universally as truth, but only the false arguer speaks against it. For example, modern spacecraft fly in the sky, and when scientists say that they travel to the other side of the moon, men believe these stories blindly. Men believe these stories blindly because they have accepted the modern scientists as authorities. The authorities speak, and the people in general believe them. But in the case of Vedic truths, they have been taught not to believe. Even if they accept them, they give a different interpretation. Each and every man wants a direct perception of Vedic knowledge, but foolishly they deny it. This means that the misguided man can believe one authority, the scientist, but will reject the authority of the Vedas. The result is that people have degenerated. Here is an authority speaking about Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and the first Narayana. Even such an impersonalist as Acharya Shankara has said in the beginning of his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita that Narayana, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. The universal, the universe is one of the material creations, but Narayana is transcendental to such material paraphernalia. Bhishma Deva is one of the 12 Mahajanas who know the principles of transcendental knowledge. His confirmation of Lord Sri Krishna's being the original personality of Godhead is also corroborated by the impersonalist Sankara. All other acharyas have also confirmed this statement, and thus there is no chance of not accepting Lord Sri Krishna as the original personality of Godhead. Bhishmadeva says that he is the first Narayana. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji in the Bhagavatam 10.14.14. Krishna is the first Narayana in the spiritual world Vaikuntha. There are unlimited numbers of Narayanas who are all the same personality of Godhead and are considered to be the plenary expansions of the original personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. The first form of the Lord Sri Krishna first expands himself as the form of Baladeva, and Baladeva expands in so many other forms such as Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Narayana, Purusha, Rama, and Narsimha. All these expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and Sri Krishna is the original source of all the plenary expansions. He is therefore the direct personality of Godhead. He is the creator of the material world, and he is the predominating deity known as Narayana in all the Vaikuntha planets. Therefore, his movements amongst human beings are another sort of bewilderment. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad Gita that foolish persons consider him to be one of the human beings without knowing the intricacies of his movements. The bewilderment regarding Sri Krishna is due to the action of his twofold internal and external energies upon the third one, called marginal energy. The living entities are expansions of his marginal energy, and thus they are sometimes bewildered by the internal energy and sometimes by the external energy. By internal energetic bewilderment, Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited numbers of Narayanas and exchanges or accepts transcendental loving service from the living entities in the transcendental world. And by his external energetic expansions, he incarnates himself in the material world amongst the men, animals, or demigods to re-establish his forgotten relation with the living entities in different species of life. Great authorities like Bhishma, however, escape his bewilderment by the mercy of the Lord.
हरि ओम तत्सत् ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम् नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमाते जयपताक स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा धामधाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदे गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नम कृष्ण यादवाय नम हरे गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदनम हरि ओम तत्सत्. So very beautiful verse where the one of the 12 Mahajanas, the spiritual authorities, Srila Bhishma Deva, is declaring here one spiritual truth to the Pandavas that this Sri Krishna is none other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead, and he's also telling he's the first Narayana. That means Krishna is the supreme of everything, and he's the supreme Narayana, he's the supreme enjoyer. And he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni, just like one of us. This is the beautiful thing. And also he is telling the tattvas that is bewildering us with his self-created energy. And Bhishma is not under that bewilderment that Prabhupada is ensuring. So this is a very, 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 very wonderful thing. Authority is most important in the spiritual, not only spiritual, even in material. If a professor is staying of the college that you or your son is going to join, why you don't send him to the neighbor house where the professor is staying, who is from the same college, who is going all the way to the college and teach? You can tell the professor, sir, you teach here itself, let me become a graduate. No, that doesn't work. As a professor individually, when he's staying in the house, he is not the authority. But the same professor, when he goes to college, there he speaks, it's an authority. And you also go to the college and then learn from the same person. So this somehow or the other, people in general are accustomed to accept authorities. That is for sure. You don't need to tell them to accept. They accept. But being misguided, they accept wrong authorities. Those who are bogus, those who are cheaters, if you take a cheater as an authority, you will be cheated. You will be further misguided. The original authority is Vedas. The supreme authority is Krishna. Vedas are the breathing of Krishna or Vishnu. So these are all the authorities. And there are 12 Mahajanas, which we have earlier discussed. All of them are spiritual authorities. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 that Evam Parampara Praptam. You must receive this particular knowledge and accept it as it is from that unbroken chain of disciplic succession. So what is the meaning of unbroken chain? Unbroken chain means one authority is handing over the truth without any malinterpretation as it is to the next authority who is his disciple. And the disciple becomes a spiritual master. And he gives the same truth without any contamination, deviation, interpretation as it is to his disciple. This is called disciplic succession. So that then everybody stands in the chain of disciplic succession, stands an authority. This is the very, very beautiful way called a descending or deductive process. This is the way the Vedic system suggests how to know the truth. Because people generally believe in truth. There are many people who believe in newspaper. They spend money every day for buying newspaper and reading it and spending their valuable time in that, thinking that the news tells the truth. But the moment he read the newspaper, that is already past. It is not happening at the time. So it is past tense that they spend money to get to know. And what is the use of getting to know that? There is no use. There is no use. Somebody killed someone somewhere. What does it make any difference in your life when you are reading that it's already a past? So the real knowledge is knowledge about authority, knowledge from authority, knowledge about the supreme authority, Krishna. That is wanted. Here, Bhishma Dev is revealing that supreme authority, Krishna, and Bhishma Dev himself is an authority. So he is revealing the truth about Krishna, that he is the supreme authority, he is the supreme enjoyer, he is the supreme Narayana, he is the original personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary person, just like he appears as if he's another human being and very dear to all of you and is moving around within the Vrishni family amongst the Pandavas, in so many different Vesha. He is roaming around here, wandering on the surface of the earth, making the whole earth very opulent and prosperous and blissful. This person is really original supreme personality of Godhead. Who can tell you? Like the mother can tell who is the father. So only the spiritual authorities like Bhishma can tell who is the supreme personality of Godhead. Brahma is the first person, firstborn living entity, who is one of the Mahajan, like Bhishma. So he tells Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradi Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So this is Brahma Samhita. So Brahma tells Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Here Bhishma is telling Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So they are all authorities. And then Vyasadeva says Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is authority. Sukadeva Goswami says Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is an authority. So we must get that, because this confidential information, confidential means it is unknown to everybody. It is only known to the person who will not misuse it. Okay, who is abide by the appropriate, who claims to be authority by dint of their behavior, by dint of their devotional service. To be very specific, how can one become authority? Simply by performing devotional service. One become authority. Otherwise, one can never become authority. The so-called scientists and government rulers and ministers and all these things, even demigods, you cannot say them authority. They may be authority for a specific matter in material world for a temporary duration of their life or a duration of a period of their voting. That is not authority. If that is authority, why they write Sasan? Why they write constitution? Why they write law? If they are the authority. So earlier kings were the authority. Manu is the authority. Like that. We have Manu Samhita. And all these so-called leaders are also following Manu Samitra either directly or indirectly. So the real authority is the Manu. So in this way, for the material life also, the authority should be taken means you have to follow the Manu. But that is impossible in this Kali Yuga. So the authority and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all of them have come in our disciplic succession. And they have propagated the chanting of the holy name of the Lord as the Yuga Dharma. So this is authority. From the authority, you are receiving that Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting is the only way. Even Shankara, who is the Shankaracharya, who is here to propagate, who was here to propagate Mayavada philosophy, he also tell that Bhajagovindam, 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 Mudamate, you fool, you please chant Govinda's name. Samrate Sannidhi Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshate, Dukurum Karne. Your this logic and argument will not help you at the time of death. Only Govinda will help you. So please chant Govinda. Though he has propagated impersonal attribute of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the Supreme, he still cannot do that because he is the incarnation of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, he's a Vaishnavanam Yatasambha, is the very greatest of all the devotees, all the Vaishnavas, greatest of all Vaishnavas. So how can he come and propagate, impersonal Brahman? It's very painful to a Vaishnava. But so he said that, but he did that on the order of Lord Vishnu, but he added that Govindam, Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam, Bhaja Modamate. So this is to be taken that authorities have already established, including Shankaracharya, who is a Mayavadi, authority for Mayavadi. He also has established Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chanting his holy name only can save you even at the time of death. What else you want? And 500 years ago, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and told the same thing. So Bhishma is the authority to tell. But unfortunately, the people generally in this Kali Yuga, they started disbelieving the Vedas because they have been taught with the education, in the name of education, avidya, ignorance has been taught, telling that whatever knowledge, Veda means knowledge. So whatever the Veda knowledge, that is imaginary. So don't believe that. And believe only practically what you can see grossly. So they made them into so low in the material world that they brought them to the gross platform, not even subtle. To the gross platform, they brought them down. Material, subtle or gross, is material is not at all good. And they should always transcend these three modes of material nature. But the so-called scientist and the so-called education system, in the name of education system, it's avidya, has made the people believe the scientists, believe the politicians, believe the cheaters, believe the rogues, and believe the rascals, and believe the plunderers when they come in tie coat suit and speak to them. You see. So they started believing in them. And that means the belief is there inside the human being. They want to believe some authority and they want to take it as the truth, as life and soul, and they want to live according to that. This tendency is there in everybody. But this tendency should be converted to a real authority, where to put their faith, where they put their belief. The belief should be put in the Vedic ancients, Vedic truth. So this is very important, and this is our duty as a Krishna consciousness movement, which is propagating the holy name. Apart from that, it also propagates Veda is knowledge. And you want to know any knowledge, you are like astronomy, come astronomy. It is there in the 5th canto, how it is created, how the universe are situated. Now it is present. If you have capacity, go and see, you can verify. It is not that it may be like that. In future, we will find it may be like that. It may work accordingly. No. There is no speculation. There is no space for speculation. In Vedic knowledge, it's very clear how it is created. What is the center of the universe? That is Mount Meru. Above that is Bhuloka. Above that is Bhuvarloka. What is the distance between Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka? Where is the sun? Sun is in between Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka. He is in the Antariksha. So what is the distance from the sun and to the earth? What is the distance from the sun and to the Bhuvarloka? So how far the sun rays goes, how many planets are benefited by the sun rays, and where they are situated, how they are situated, how the sun is able to produce light there, and who is living in the sun. What information you want here? Everything is clear like sunlight. Evidently, the truth is specified in this particular Srimad Bhagavatam. Only this Srimad Bhagavatam can reveal you all the truth. It's all transcendental. Where the Lord is situated, where is Bharata Varsha, where is Kimpurusha Varsha, where is other lokas, where are they staying, how is their lifestyle, what are they thinking, how they are living, why are they hankering to come to the earth, is the earth so better? Everything is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything is there. Okay, so if you want to know any truth, it is already there in the Vedas, and we don't need to go for the scientist, believing scientist who has imperfection knowledge, and with their imperfect senses, they have speculated something. After all, their brain is not man-made. They are creating satellites and throw it in the space, but their brain is not man-made. And the source of the brain, they themselves don't know. So there is a supreme brain behind it. So we know the tendency to believe is already there, but because we are all the expansion of the marginal potency of Krishna as living entity, there is a tendency to believe either the Maya, the Vidya as knowledge, or the Vidya, which is real knowledge, confidential knowledge, that is the Vedic injunction, the internal potency. So we have a tendency to surrender. So where we put our belief, there we surrender. So we must receive the knowledge. Confident knowledge is not publicly announced. Confidential knowledge is kept with the person. It is not impersonal. It is not found in books. It is found in the acharyas. Aevam parampara praptam. Only through the authorities, unbroken chain of authorities, you can receive this confidential knowledge, and it will remain confident only within a person. It is not impersonal. So that need to be understood. So instead of being misguided further by believing the scientist, the authority is speaking here, Bhishma, about Krishna as the original personality of Godhead and the first Narayana, or the supreme Narayana and the supreme enjoyer. So this is very, very important to understand that Narayana is the, so many Narayanas are there. Each Vaikunta has one Narayana. All of them are expansion of Krishna. So Prabhupada is also explaining, and Bhishma Deva we are seeing that one of the 12 authorities starting from Brahma. So he knows the principle of all the transcendental knowledge, how everything is created, how everything sustains, how everything is annihilated, who is the supreme personality of God, what all his different expansions, what purpose of his expansions, who is standing right before him as Krishna with two-handed, and who is Narayana, every knowledge. So he is authority, and he is giving the confirmation because he is not a fallen conditioned soul. Bhishma Dev is a descended soul. Okay, so he was a Vasu. Vasu is not under the fallen condition. So they are already performing devotion service. And Krishna says that Bhishma Dev is an eternal associate of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna, like Arjuna. Bhishma is also eternally associated with Krishna, as good as Arjuna. So we need to understand from such authorities who is Krishna. Arjuna tells in Bhagavad Gita that Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. Because Arjuna is authority, because Arjuna has heard directly from Krishna. Krishna is the supreme authority. So Arjuna is revealing the truth. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. All the acharyas have confirmed to that statement. Narado, Asilo, Narado, Vyasa. Arjuna is telling, it's not just I am declaring it. The great authorities like Narada is one of the Mahajans, great authority. Asilo Vyasadev is another authority. So all of them are also telling that you are the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna. So things are taken from authorities, unbroken chain of disciplic succession, that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, and Bhishma is confirming here. And already we have discussed many times how the expansion comes. Now, Krishna, his first expansion is as good as Krishna. That is Balaram or Baladeva. So he is the first form of Krishna. And who is Baladeva or Balaram? When asked by a disciple, Prabhupada answered, okay, he is nothing but white Krishna. That means Baladeva is as good as Krishna, with the complete potency of Krishna, with the complete of everything. He is Purnam. Baladev is Purnam. He is Adi Guru, Guru of all Guru. Then Nityananda Balarama, 500 years ago, the same Baladev, with Jagannath, that Baladev, with Krishna, that Balaram, the same person appeared as Nityananda Prabhu 500 years ago. So this Nityananda Balarama is as good as Krishna. What is the difference? The difference is only that he has a servile attitude towards Krishna, not the supreme enjoyer attitude. Otherwise, he has everything as good as Krishna. So, and from him only all other expansions like Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Vasudeva, and from that Sankarshana, another Narayana, and from that Narayana, again there is a Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Vasudeva, and from the second Sankarshana, there is again a plenary portion of the Adi Purusha, that is your Mahavishnu, then from there, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, from that Shirogada Sai Vishnu, and all these living entities are the expansion of his marginal potency, Baladeva's marginal potency, from where this particular thing. So Baladeva has all this as good as Krishna, that internal potency, external potency, and marginal potency. And the marginal potency's expansions are the living entities. External potency's expansion is the Jada. So these things we need to understand. And his direct expansions and incarnations and plenary portions are all Vishnu Tattva. And the Krishna is the original source of Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the original source of all these plenary expansions. Ete chamsa kala pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srimad Bhagavatam propagates this truth. Ete chamsa kala pumsa. All the incarnations, plenary portions, expansions, plenary portion of the plenary portions are but, fraction or expansion of Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Only Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead. So this is said in Bhagavatam also. So that is why Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And he is the creator of the material world and the spiritual world. And anything and everything emanates from Krishna. He is beyond both the material and the spiritual. He is supreme spiritual. And is one without a second. So you cannot have that realm where Krishna is living. You may live in Golok Vrindavan with Krishna. But as Krishna, nobody can experience. Even Baladev cannot experience, though he is the direct expansion of Krishna. What Krishna does, even Baladev doesn't know. 1 year he was under bewilderment. Sakshat Baladev is in bewilderment. 1 year when the Brahma Vimohana Leela we saw that on the day of Balram Purnima, the Krishna went and Balram did not come. On that day only, the cows and the cowherd boys were stolen for a moment of Brahma's time, which took 1 year. That one moment of Brahma is 1 year here. And during that 1 year, after one moment, Brahma came back and saw that same cowherd boys and cows are just, playing as if it was just a moment ago. So Brahma was bewildered. Where is my mystic power has gone? I have kept them sleeping. So again he went and they were all sleeping. And here he saw everybody is there, and suddenly they all turned into 400 form. He saw only one 400 form Vishnu at the time of creation. Now he is seeing unlimited 400 form of Vishnu, Narayana. Oh my God, what would be the situation of Brahma? And this secret is unknown to even Balaram. And 1 year has passed now. And after 1 year has passed, almost 6 days before next Balaram Purnima, Krishna was going at the time. Are being taken by all this Kaumara, this and his friends. As soon as the cows saw that, they were out of control from the cowherd men, and they came out running like mad, and milk is oozing out of their milk bag onto the mountain, and so much love and affection, and this cow very shy, and as soon as they saw the cowherd boys, their sons, they also became very mad and they were running to come, and so affection. So Balaram was bewildered. Such affection, how it is a true affection I am saying here, but in the material world there cannot be a true affection. How it is possible? Balaram was bewildered, and then in a moment Krishna has revealed the truth, and Balaram understood. Oh, this is Krishna's only. Okay. You see, that is the position of even Baladev, who is direct expansion of Krishna and who is not different from Krishna in every respect. And he also can be placed into a bewilderment. That is the power of Krishna. So Krishna is beyond both material and spiritual, and nobody can understand him. It is inconceivable. That is what Bhishma is telling. This person is inconceivable. Inconceivable. So nobody can, conceive unless otherwise he reveals it. To whatever extent he reveals, only that much one is no. That is God. He is not an ordinary person that somebody can easily control him. And the same Supreme Personality of Godhead again is controlled. Bhaktya Mama Vijanati. Yashoda Maya has bound him with a rope of love on the wooden mortar. So, how this happens, this bewilderment to this material world people, that is also Prabhupada is very explaining very beautifully, because the living entities are expansion of the marginal potency of Krishna. So there is a tendency that they believe the scientists or they believe the Vedic authority and the authorities like Bhishmadev. So there is a tendency to fall either side. So twofold internal and external energy in between the marginal potencies expansion as a living entities are there. Okay, that is the third one. So living entities, they must actually either be bewildered by the internal potency or bewildered by the external potency. This is the nature or tendency of the living entity. Okay, and by the internal energetic bewilderment only, Krishna appears as Narayanas, unlimited number of Narayanas, and he accepts their loving devotional service in the Dasya form. Furthermore, there is Golok Vrindavan, and directly you can play with Krishna. So as soon as you connect yourself with the proper authority in the unbroken chain of disciplic succession, yes, then you are got an opportunity. So Krishna is so kind, and he himself incarnates into material world amongst all the 8,400,000 species of life, animals, demigods, everywhere. And he re-establishes the forgotten relation with the living entities. It is Krishna who is re-establishing. He has not forgotten. We have forgotten. It is we are supposed to re-establish our lost relationship. But Krishna is coming to re-establish our forgotten relationship. This is the kindness of Krishna. This is the kindness of Krishna. And those authorities like Mahajanas, like Bhishma, Brahma, Vyasadeva, Sukadeva Goswami, Shiva, etc., Narada, all of them, they are not under the bewilderment. That is the mercy of Krishna. They are kept with the complete knowledge, cognizant. So we must accept that authority. Shantagopi, you want to add anything, or we'll go to the next verse? Okay, so this verse has lots and lots of input for you. Those who are deep divers into the transcendental knowledge in search of the Bhakti Yoga process implementation as a Bhakti, when you are taking this particular information, you get a lots and lots of realizations. And each one will have a, according to Ye Yatatmam Prapadyante Tam Tataiva Bhajamyaham, according to one surrender, one will be revealed the truth by the mercy of Krishna. So I think it's a topic of discussion. So I give some time for all of you to reveal your realizations on this purport. Saurav, Deepu,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So regarding that, so I was talking to a devotee. Most of the theories and most of the principles which we formulate based on hypothesis. So first we make some hypothesis, then we start experimenting on that, and if it proves, then only we put it as a thesis. So we see that whatever is there in our Shastras are already given by the Supreme Lord. So there should not be any error or any sort of mishappening in that. And but we see that each and every, like I remember, like Heisenberg's principle, that is always changing. We see the stars. So the stars are they, as scientists formulate that they are light years ahead. So till the time we see the stars, it has already disappeared. So our senses are imperfect, and that's why we are unable to formulate anything. So this is the most unfortunate thing for humanity. What they directly try to believe in scientists, and we must restrict ourselves and abide by the instructions of our shastras. So that is what I have felt or realized.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Wow. You're really getting into deep. This is how Prabhupada, you are pleasing Prabhupada by your approach in understanding Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very nice. So in this way, we should understand that how temporary is this material world and the authorities of material authorities so-called. And because of their imperfect senses and their speculative knowledge and their sense gratification centered attitude, they can never understand the supreme truth or the source of truth. What to speak of then revealing it to others? So it remains bewilderment for them. At the same time, for a devotee who accepts the bona fide authority, his senses are becoming purified because he is in touch with the person whose senses are already purified. In this way, he is in touch with the Supreme Personality of God, whose senses has no question of getting contamination. So Rishikena Hrishikesha Chaivanam happenings. So automatically the devotees are gradually coming out of the imperfect senses. Imperfect senses are not the rubber stamped on the devotees. It is for the non-devotees. The devotee senses are gradually getting purified every time he says Hare Krishna Mahamantra once, and the next time he says Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. It's a very large distance that he has covered from the contaminated world into the spiritual realm. So 16 rounds, 1,728 times a day, he is chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you can see that how swiftly he is progressing. Every devotee, and how his senses are getting purified, how huge, unlimited number of births and deaths cannot purify such amount of purification that is getting by chanting just once the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then what to speak of chanting congregationally and 1,728 times, and having been attached to the authorities, having a guru, and getting into the association of reading and studying Srimad Bhagavatam. My God, you just can't estimate. Materially, the whole universe is not even equal to 0.5% of the piety that you have earned. So that is the beauty of the connecting to Acharya Parampara and listening to the real authority. Very beautiful analysis, very nice understanding. Thank you, Saurabh. Anybody else would like to speak on this about your understanding or realization? Deepu?
Hare Krishna, sir.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
So Krishna's activities are inconceivable for a common man to understand, sir. So like you told that even in like Brahma and all the great devotees, even Baldev, Balram, even he couldn't understand Krishna's activities. So like so Krishna is such like he's a supreme personality of Godhead, and we are like very fortunate that through Guru Parampara, through authorized Guru Parampara, bona fide Guru, we are getting through devotional service, through love. We are like we are getting to experience these things. So and because we are very fallen, and our relation with Krishna is totally like it is totally torn up. It is in a very bad condition. But through like Guru is very merciful that through devotional service we are trying to revive our consciousness. We are trying to purify our consciousness. So yes, sir, this is what I wanted to say.
Super, very nice. Everything you spoke is truth and accepted as it is. You're speaking like authority, really. This is the power of association with authorities. Very nice. I appreciate that without any speculation. Good. Like that, we have to accept as it is, then our life is simple and highly successful. That is called a high thinking and simple living.
Yes, sir.
And
Prabhupada also one time told that if I ask a glass of water, half glass of water, then you should give me a half glass of water, not a complete glass. Like whatever is written, and Vedas are like, they are the authorities. Whatever Shastras is telling, we have to accept as it is without any speculation and without anything. And we see that many like scientists and like whatever we manufacture out of our own intelligence, like yesterday ma'am told that intelligence is also one of the material qualities. We claim ourselves, we think ourselves that we are very intelligent, we can lord our material nature, we can build things, we can create technologies which will be comfortable for all the general mass of people, then it will have some disadvantage. Like Krishna has created this, whatever Krishna has created this, like it is there is no, like what to say, there will be not any disadvantage or anything. Like whatever Krishna creates, it is awesome. And since we only wanted to enjoy, like we wanted to enjoy ourselves, staying away from Krishna, remaining aloof from Krishna, so Krishna gave us this, created this material world for us. And we are fortunate that we have got this guru now. We have given this chance to revive our consciousness, to perform devotional service, to be in connection with Guru. We are very fortunate that we have a lovely Guru, cute Guru. So, yes, sir.
Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai. So beautiful,
Jai.
so beautiful. Thank you. I would love this Bhagavatam class goes like this, interactively, so that everybody can reveal their realization. The reason is that when you read Bhagavatam before initiation, you get certain level of realization. And when you read the same after shelter, you give a different level of realization. And you read the same after first initiation, you get again a different level of realization. And when you read it after second initiation, you will see nothing but devotional service is the only thing that is propagated in the Bhagavatam in every syllable. In this way, this Bhagavatam reveals itself, because Bhagavatam is live. It is not just a book of literary that somebody can read it. It is actually happenings. It is science. So as Yayatatmam Prapatyante, at what level we are surrendering? We have surrendered up to pre-initiation level or post-initiation level. So accordingly, we are awarded, revealed, the confidential knowledge is revealed. Very beautiful. I would love Bhagavatam class to be like this, we should discuss in the sense, we should reveal what we have realized at a different level, so that everybody can see that, okay, how the progress is happening in one's life. That is very important.
In one of the quotes of Guru Maharaj, I read many times back, like Guru Maharaj told that Krishna will reveal to us according to our surrender. If we are 50% surrender, Krishna will reciprocate with us 50%. So that thing I just remembered.
Perfect. Well said. And our surrendering is shown through accepting a spiritual master, getting into initiation, second initiation, performing devotional service and preaching. This is where we are showing how much we have surrendered. So this is science, actually practical. Surrender is not that in my mind I think, okay, I am surrendered to Krishna. That is not. That is Mayavadi surrendering. The Mayavadi don't surrender at all. They want to be Krishna. So at least this thing is like a karmi surrendering. So our surrendering is shown by dint of our devotional service, by dint of our preaching efforts, by dint of our affection in performing devotional service, by dint of our chanting the holy name, by dint of our how many hours I'm spending spiritually in a day. Completely dedicated, how many senses of mind for how long is completely dedicated in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the bona fide guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. So this counts, this measure, this is the measure of surrendering. Yayatatmam prapatyante. So 50% means 50%, 75% means 75%. So the very beautiful remembrance of Guru Maharaj's statement, which is very much relevant in this context. Thank you very much, Deepu.
Thank you, sir.
So anybody else has any comments or realizations or questions? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. It was very wonderful when it becomes interactive, especially within the context of Srimad Bhagavatam. It becomes very awesome. So we will unite again congregationally to chant the holy name at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and then continue by Srimad Bhagavatam class. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Patita Pavan Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Bhagavat Satsang ki jai.
Jai.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam
Patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo Namaha.
Namaha. Jai Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Hari.